This is Comcast Local Edition. I'm Jack Hansen. We're aboard the museum, the floating museum, the USS Hornet here in Alameda. Bob Fish is with us. Bob knows more about the Apollo program and the rest of those programs than anybody else I've ever met in my entire life. Bob, nice to see you again. Tell us a bit about this command module.
This is command module 011A. It's a Block 1 command module, which means it was the very first type of Apollo command module ever built. This one actually was of the type that was flown early in the suborbital environment, but it never actually went to the moon.
But this was with the Smithsonian for a while, is that right?
Yes. 011A was, after it flew its suborbital mission, it was used for some drop tests, and then it went to the Smithsonian Institute. They lent it out for a while to the University of Oklahoma, where it was on display for a while. But because the serial number for this one is 011, a lot of people confused it with Apollo 11. So eventually it was withdrawn and sent back to the Smithsonian and stayed in storage for the last, 12 or 15 years.
And you were able to get it?
We dug it out of the Smithsonian in January of this year and brought it back here on a 10-year loan. It only arrived 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, okay. Now, you've been very involved in the whole Apollo program as far as from the historical standpoint. And so what have you learned about America and about the program as you've gotten more involved in it?
It was really an awesome program. It set a standard of excellence not only for the people that were directly involved in the Apollo program, for the American people as a whole. It set a standard that we really perhaps haven't recaptured since then.
Yeah, well, the program, of course, ended in 72?
72.
72, yeah. And now, of course, we're getting some impetus that perhaps it will pick up again and start over again. Right. What are your hopes for the future in terms of space programs?
Well, I think space exploration is very important for us. Now, my background, my personal background is with Silicon Valley, and so I have a fairly intimate knowledge of how the space program really launched Silicon Valley and the high-tech companies over there. It's a story that's never been told, but a lot of the things that we have today, small personal computers, global positioning systems for accurate driving and navigation and so on, all came out of the space program.
Yeah.
So my goal is, my hope, if you will, is that we find another program like this that can recontribute so much to society that the Apollo program did.
Now, what about the museum here itself, this floating museum? It took a while to get this, right? This is what, 1998 finally got this from the Navy and became a floating museum.
The Hornet was decommissioned in 1970 and actually was mothballed up in Bremerton, Washington until 1995 when it was sold for scrap. Then it was towed down here and was almost cut up. But the 50th anniversary of the end of World War II came about, and the captain of Alameda Naval Air Station rescued the ship, brought it here, opened it as basically the centerpiece, if you will, for the 50th anniversary, and we wouldn't let her leave after that. We kept her here and opened it as a museum in 1998.
You threw your arms around this giant ship and said, "You're staying here."
You're staying. This ship has 9 battle stars from World War II. It fought Iwo Jima, Okinawa, you name it. It destroyed 1,410 enemy airplanes, over 1 million tons of enemy shipping, has a presidential unit citation, and it recovered Apollo 11 and Apollo 12.
Yeah, what a history. What a history. And it's open to the public. This is what people should understand.
It's open to the public. 6 days a week we have guided tours by docents, some of whom are World War II veterans, and a few who were actually on the Apollo recoveries, such as Rolf Saby, who was on the helm when they motored up to the side of the Apollo 11 capsule in 1969. Yeah. And then on the 7th day we let people just come and wander around. There's no guided tours.
Yeah, and there's so much to see on this. And the airplanes are going to be here too, that we have on the deck and so forth?
Absolutely. We have airplanes for those who like the aircraft industry, if you will. We have World War II, a World War II TBM Avenger that we restored.
That's a beautiful restoration on that airplane, by the way. Absolutely beautiful.
A large crew worked several years on that.
Yeah. Now, everyone who's on the ship, they're all volunteers. Is that right?
We have a paid staff of around a dozen people that help maintain the core ship and do some marketing and promotion and things like that. Everybody else besides that is volunteers, about 300 volunteers.
Okay, just remember the ship is right here in Alameda. Nice to see you, Bob.
Thanks, Jack.
You take care. It's Comcast Local Edition. I'm Jack Hansen. Thanks for watching.